Hello, everyone. Gonna wait for people to pop in. I know today, well, let me just wait because I don't think anybody's on yet, but hey, Mara. So interesting because it doesn't show me the correct number then. Oh, cool. Hey, Carly. All my stuff is just delayed then. That's fine. All right. How are y'all? Let me make sure this is working. Yep, okay. Did Santa Paws visit Honey? Um, I did, but usually my sister and my mom will get her stuff too. Did they get her anything? Oh, my mom got her one of those like dog cigars. It's not a bully stick. It's or like the bowl sticks, whatever. Those are gross. It's like a sausage thing. It looks like a cigar when they're chewing it. I think that's all she got. And then I got her some like treats and a toy, but I had already I gave her that 2 weeks ago. Hey Denise. Hello, hello. Any plans for the new year? And I'm gonna get started in just a bit. Just waiting for a couple more minutes till 4:30. But so I was gonna go to my fiance's like best friend's apartment because he's throwing a little party thing for New Year's. But I have the flu. At least I think I have the flu. It started on. It started like Friday evening, late Friday evening. I started getting a sore throat, and then Saturday, Sunday I was out like just in bed, couldn't get comfortable, aches and pains everywhere. I feel a lot better now, but I do still have I have a cough now and stuffy nose, which I didn't have that before. But I think it's the flu. Unfortunately, this is my second time being sick this month, so it's not fun. So yeah, I'm not gonna go to his apartment because I don't want to get other people sick, even if I'm feeling a little bit better. So yeah, I am feeling better. Thank you, Carly. Oh, perfect. Saw this live notification just as you were reviewing your finances slash spending. Yeah, tomorrow's the last day of the month, which is one of my favorite days, so I can log my debts and or not my debts, my assets and my all the updates on that and get my net worth. Yeah, with the flu, we went to my fiance's parents' house on Christmas Eve and they were sick. Like his mom was feeling better, but his dad was like just starting, and we knew that, and so I probably shouldn't have gone since I'm like immunocompromised, but it is what it is. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Yeah, end of month net worth tomorrow. We'll be recording that. I'm gonna get another video up tomorrow as well because I was supposed to get my January budget up on Sunday, and I was like, I'll be fine. I'll film Sunday. But I couldn't. I was just like, yeah. As I said, I was in bed. I was in and out of sleep. Sebastian was literally bringing me food in bed, and then I was watching like various crime videos on YouTube. Does anybody else watch those? It's like the body cam footage. I don't know why I watched them. I shouldn't, but it's just like it was what I wanted to watch while I was sick. I don't know. I have some just hot water. Okay. So I will get started. I'm continuing off of, for those who don't know, this is my third week in a row going live. And, oh, thank you. My headshots are really fire. Your photographer did a great job. Thank you. That is Chloe Ravina here in Atlanta. Yeah, I think because I'm immunocompromised, I definitely get sick more easily if I'm exposed to it. And then I was already sick earlier in December and I didn't like fully get better. It takes me a while to get better. Um, yeah. I watch other people watch body cam videos. Oh, that's great. I'll have to find that. Um, okay, I'm sorry. So this is my third week in a row going live. And the first week I was, I mean, it's all in here. So I have this, oh, you can't see it. So I gotta move my face. All this here. The first week I just talked about myself a little bit, shared some mindset stuff that I think is important for paying off debt, because really the focus is for those who want to pay off debt, because for me that was really transformational, and I love being debt free. I just think it's the way to be, uh, in certain, for most people anyway. So I walked through getting your financial screenshot and how to find certain things associated with that. My spreadsheets, those are still linked down below. Let me just double check. Let me double check my doc or my sheet. I don't know, my description box. Okay, I see it on my end, so y'all should see that as well. Sometimes people in the chat are saying that they cannot access the doc. You should be able to. I have tested it like each time, and it should prompt you to make a copy. If it's not doing that, if it's opening, then you will go to, it's going to be a spreadsheet, and it'll be file, make a copy, and you can save it to your drive. I had somebody email me saying they couldn't open it, and they sent me like the error that they got. So if you're getting an error, it's usually like a caching issue, something with your browser. So if you just, once you get the email, you'll get another link to open up the doc, and you can either open it, make sure you're in Chrome, that may help, or switch to like a different, I don't know, Firefox or Safari, or open an incognito, and that should help. Like usually if there's something not working, it's something with you. It's not me, because the link works, I promise. Yeah, so we got talked through all of that, filling out year at a glance. So you can go back to those videos and watch all of that if you want, kind of just step by step what to go through. Last week I talked about creating a rough budget, and kind of how to do that, of course, but also areas that you can reduce spending. So ideally, you would have gone, if you're working through this over the last week, you could have taken a look at things that you can cut back on and adjust your budget as necessary. And that gets you closer to your like true budget for January, and hopefully you can finalize that today. And then there were a number of things that I talked about that you can do, like if you have credit card debt or medical debt, anything like that. So again, you can go back and watch those videos if you missed it. So today, and of course I can answer any specific questions, but I'm going to talk about choosing a debt payoff plan. I think this is absolutely crucial when you're paying off your debt. Like you need to pick a debt payoff plan. Otherwise, you're kind of just, a lot of people that I start talking to, my clients, I'll ask them like, oh, how have you been handling your debt so far? And they'll say, I just throw a little bit extra. I don't really follow anything. Sometimes they do have a plan, but there's been many times where people just say, oh, I pay a little bit extra to each debt. And that is not really going to serve you unless they're like all the same interest rate. But even then, it's just better to focus heavily on one of them. And there are a few options for you to choose from, like as far as payment plans. Let me move some spacing. Okay. So let's say that these are your debts. I'm going to not have this in bold. Okay. So let's say you have some credit card debt, you have a car loan, a student loan, and then let's say that you owe your mom some money, right? And here's the interest, well, the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. Obviously, if you're paying back like a family member, there may not be a set payment amount, but you've just been doing $150 per month. So that's what we're going to assume here. And again, I can answer any specific questions. A lot of people in the chat will just post like, should I do this or should I do that? And I honestly can't answer with just that little of information. I would need like specifics like this, your debt. Even I would want a more of a picture into how you're spending your money. So if that's not going to work for you in the chat, then you can just leave that in the comment or join my community, and I can try my best to respond in the comments. But yeah, definitely in the community, which I'll talk about in a bit. Okay, first one is Debt Avalanche. This is my favorite. And this is where you're focused on the debt with the highest interest first. So for this situation, it would be credit card B because the interest rate is 29.99%. So that means, yeah, you're going to pay the $75 per month, but you're also going to pay, if you can make any extra debt payments, you're going to focus it all on here. Everything else, credit card one, car loan, student loan, and the money that you may owe your mom, you're just going to pay the minimums. That's all it's going to get. And then this one, if you can do an extra 100 to it, extra 500, whatever it is, that's what you're going to do until it is paid off. And then you roll those extra debt payments plus this $75 into your next highest interest debt, which would be credit card A. So once credit card B is taken care of, you can move on to credit card A, and then you could do your car loan, student loan, and then your mom. So that's debt avalanche. This is my preferred method. That's what I did for the most part while I was paying off my debt. I'm definitely a math person though. I really like to see this is going to make me pay off my debt faster, and this is going to save me the most money because that's what the avalanche will do. It may not speed things up. It may not be a huge difference compared to the other ones, but it usually does make it faster. And for me, I really just wanted to spend less money. I didn't get too emotionally involved with like how I was paying my debt, and I was like, I just want to focus on the numbers. So if you're a numbers person, if you're a math person, and that's how you kind of operate, I recommend Debt Avalanche, and you should save money and you should pay off your debt a little bit faster. On the other hand, if you're not a huge math person and you more so need some motivation while you're paying off your debt, then I recommend the debt snowball. So instead of you focusing on the highest interest, you're actually going to focus on the debt with the lowest balance. So for this situation, it would be credit card A. We're going to ignore the interest rates when we're doing snowball. So same thing, you're going to pay that 40 as well as anything extra that you can toward credit card A. Everything else, you'll just pay the minimum payments until credit card A is paid off, and then you will roll this $40 plus whatever extra payments you can into your next lowest debt, which would be the money that you owe your mom, for example. And then you keep on going. Same thing with Debt Avalanche. You just keep on going. And yeah, again, this is best for those who want quick wins and some motivation. So you're like, okay, I can probably pay this off in 2 to 3 months. That will keep me going on this debt-free journey. And I really want to tackle some debt, get these things minimized if I can, and then I'll move on to the next one. So kind of just ignoring the math behind it. If you want to do that, like just no matter what, that's fair. But if you have some really high interest debts, like if you have these credit card debts that are 29+%, even like over 20%, like anything high like that, and you're gonna be focusing on the smallest balances for a while that don't include high interest debt, like if you have some like random things in there that are just that, like student loans for example, that are smaller, just be aware that you're going to pay a lot of money in interest while you're tackling that other debt. So it's just something to keep in mind. Like you can always switch around. You can start with Avalanche and then switch to Snowball. You can start with one of these other ones, switch to Snowball. So I definitely recommend weighing your options. And something, I wanted to have this ready before the end of the year. I'm going to put together, it's probably going to be like a little toolkit, like a debt-free toolkit, but definitely a Google Doc where you can kind of plug in your numbers and see which you can pick and choose which payment plan to choose or which you want to follow, and then it will kind of update your numbers based off of that. So I'll have a sheet that will kind of break things down and should show you how long. I think I should be able to do it in a Google Doc, but yeah, I'll figure it out. So I'll have a spreadsheet coming out soon with debt-free options or debt payoff plan options. But that's Snowball. And then there's a couple of other payment plans that people don't really talk about as often. I forget what people would call this, largest minimum payment. It's been left in my comments before what people call it, but I just say largest minimum payment. And so this is where you're focusing on the debt with the highest minimum payment. So for this situation, that would be your car loan. And again, same thing. I wouldn't do this if you have super high credit card debt. Like you're going to want to probably tackle these first, just because it's going to cost, you can pay this down faster, but it might take you some time. And yeah, it's going to free up quite a bit of money, but this is going to be gaining a lot of interest, especially if you have several credit cards with high interest rates and high balances. So just keep that in mind and kind of look at everything, look at the whole picture. But if you were to do this, same thing, you're going to focus on the car loan, and then you would move on to that. Frees up a lot of money, frees up $375, and then you can roll that into your student loan, which is the next highest minimum payment. And you can see with that, though, it's like usually associated with a larger balance. So yes, you're freeing up a lot of money, and yes, it's going to help you speed up the next one too. But it's just going to take longer to get those wins, like you're probably not going to completely pay off a debt for quite some time, unless you have a huge chunk of money to work with on a monthly basis to throw at your priority debt. So that's largest minimum payment. It is nice though to free up, like there's some situations where I've had people do that, or like I suggested it because yeah, if you have something that's costing you the car payments are way higher than this these days. I made this, I updated some of these numbers, but this is actually from my debt free blueprint course, and the numbers are probably way off. But I think car payments these days are 650 to 750 average, which is insane, and that's so much money. Like I just cannot even fathom paying that. So if you were to free that up, yeah, it would take some time, but getting rid of that would be lovely. The final one is urgent/consequence method. So that would be like if you owe your mom money and it's causing tension in your relationship and she's getting mad at you, or this could be a friend, this could be another family member, this could be IRS debt that's really stressing you out, this could be debt that's about to go into collections, or you just don't feel good about it. Like it's something that's heavily weighing on you and stressing you out more than anything else, despite like again, with owing a family member, they may not be charging you any interest, but they could be bugging you all the time, or they could be blackmailing you or holding it against you, whatever the case may be, or you just want to get rid of it. Like I don't want any family drama type of thing, or just to owe anybody in my family money. So you would instead focus on paying off your mom, and then you could move on. And from that point, you probably would want to pick one of the other methods, because that's probably, you probably only have one or two urgent debts, but you can tackle that first and kind of feel a little bit less stress around things, and then choose a different payment plan. Any questions on that? Let's see. Car PSA. My passenger seatbelt got stuck and it will fail inspection. I was quoted $1,300 for it. My boyfriend's dad said to call Subaru and ask if it is covered in a lifetime warranty, and it was. Wow. So do you have to get car inspections? So I just have to pay labor of $200. So PSA is call the dealership and ask about their lifetime warranty for stuff like that. Wow, interesting. Because in Georgia, in the call last night in my community, I was talking about this, how we do have to get car emissions depending on our county in the state of Georgia, but we don't do inspections. So do you have to get actual like full on inspections? Because we just do emissions, so they don't check. They plug their little thing into the car, um, and make sure like no check engine lights are on or anything. But they don't check anything else. I guess that's important. Like they should, right? The biggest financial tip is to not have a car payment. Buy a $5K car. You know what? Let's look into that. Let's look. I'm gonna look at my car and see if we can find one that's, because yeah, I don't know that 5K is as easy. Like yes, you could buy one off of like Marketplace, or maybe even at the dealerships in like Carvana. I personally would be afraid to buy a car from somebody off of like just a random person. Let's see. I have a 2015 Toyota Camry, 107,000 miles. I mean, that's not awful, but that's a decent amount of miles. Look at this one, 141K. Um, that's good. 29K, 104K. Wow. Um, yeah, I don't know what. Let's try a Corolla because that's a little bit cheaper. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know that it would be possible to get super super cheap, but it also probably varies by location. So, Atlanta, Metro Atlanta may not be super affordable. Yeah, Mara said last time I bought a 5K car, I spent at least another 5K in fixing it over 6 months because it was a turd. Yeah, it's rough. I don't know what I would definitely buy used moving forward, but it's like this is pretty expensive for what it is. But I think that's how it is now. So, state inspections and emissions every year. Wow, okay, interesting. Do y'all have to pay for the inspections? Why don't I hang the photo on the wall? Um, I don't know. I don't like this office is kind of like I move things around quite a bit too. So, yeah, she's just sitting up there. It's me and my dog who passed a couple years ago. Okay. Any questions on debt payoff methods? Okay, next thing would be optional, and that's setting up auto pay. My only thing with this is so I would suggest if you're like forgetful or you're not somebody who's in routine yet of paying for debt or like tracking your spending, I do suggest putting your payments on auto pay. However, keep in mind that often I think it depends on the card that you're using, but usually with auto pay, it's just going to pay the minimum payment. Like if you just tell it to pay the minimum payment, then that's going to adjust over time. So your credit card payment might start at $40, right? But as this balance decreases, it's going to go down to 37, to 32, to 30, etc. Same with everything else. Probably your student loans will probably stay the same, your car loan will stay the same. But usually with credit cards, those will decrease, and so because of that you're paying less principal and like the interest is kind of just taking over. So I would be aware of that, and just you I think there's usually an option for you to just whatever the minimum payment is that you started with, then you can set the minimum payment at that. Like always make sure it's paying at least that, and that should be okay. Because as long as you're not adding more debt to it, then your minimum payment shouldn't be increasing, and you should be good. Definitely set up. So that's my only warning with that is what I was getting at. So if you do put on the auto pay, that's a great thing to do, but it also may be contributing to you not paying as much, like not making as much progress as you were expecting, because you were like, oh, I'm absolutely going to be paying 40 per month for this credit card, but it's really slowly decreasing with time if you're not focused on it. Yeah, that will help you to avoid late fees and missed payments. And the other thing I was going to say is just making sure you set up like 2FA is one thing, but just setting up notifications on all your accounts. I think that's really, really helpful. Emails, push notifications, I think, the more the better when it comes to things like that, because you don't want to miss anything. Like you're getting your finances together. Even now, if I have money going into my checking account, money coming out of my checking accounts, I have notifications coming. Credit card transactions, I have notifications on. Definitely turn on any security as well, just for added protection for credit cards. So if a transaction is made, make sure that comes to you. I like to see that. Plus, it kind of helps me to stay on track with tracking my spending. If I like didn't get a receipt for whatever reason, or I just like want to make sure I remember to log it. I have that push notification and it stays on my phone. It's just like, in the drop down, and I like to keep it there until I make sure I log it. So that's another way to just make sure you're tracking your spending in real time. And then last thing, oh no, not last thing. Quick progress is what we're going to focus on. So some of these are harder than others, but there are, I think I talked about this in a couple, like the week. Sorry, y'all, my brain is a little mushy from being sick. In week 1, I think I was talking about how at the beginning of your debt free journey, it's really exciting because it's like all brand new, and just when you're changing your finances, there's so many things that you can change, and you can like never really get all of that back, like the excitement around it. At least that's how I felt. So there are several things that you can do when you're first starting to kind of make some quick progress on either your savings, because I did talk about emergency fund last time very briefly. I can touch on that more if y'all need me to. But you can either make a dent in that or any of your sinking funds that are like top priority for the year, or making extra debt payments, which is really motivating and exciting when you're first getting started. So my first suggestion is going extreme for a couple of months. And this isn't always recommended. Like if you're somebody who doesn't do well with restriction and you're just going to like end up binge shopping, for lack of a better phrase, like if you're going to end up going crazy after a month, then I wouldn't recommend this. But you know yourself best, so if you can cut back on things pretty extreme for just a couple of months, and this means cut out subscriptions that you can cut back later, you can reduce groceries, you can reduce food out. I'm not saying don't starve yourself, but you can probably be more strategic with your, do some meal prepping, use everything that you have in your pantry and fridge already as much as possible. If you're getting your nails done, hair done, all these things in the month regularly, can you at least just give those up for a couple of months? And that's literally probably a couple of $100s right there that instead can go toward a debt. And then you might even realize, oh, I don't really care for this. And then you can continue. You can continue that. Same with subscriptions. If you're like, oh, I haven't even thought about Netflix. Like, I don't care. I'm just not going to resume it. Or whatever other subscriptions. Oftentimes people don't even know how many subscriptions they have. So once you actually start tracking, you should become more aware of that. And at that point, you want to kind of evaluate what you actually use, what you don't, what's worth it, what's not, so on and so forth. Let's see. I think a good starter emergency fund. So I talked about this last time, and it heavily depends. I feel like across everybody that I've talked to, for the most part, the new like 1,000 is 3,000. Like I think 3,000 is a better starting place than just 1K. Like you can usually, if something pops up, 3K will be more than enough to cover it, or not always, but you know what I mean. And then at that point you can rebuild. But I think that's a good starting point if you can. Even if it's 500, 1,000 though, that's still great. Like everybody's situation is different. But if you have children, if you have pets, if you own a home, if you have an old car, if you have medical issues, if you have a high deductible, any of that, you probably would want more in your emergency fund. It also depends on like how your finances are set up. Like if you have a decent amount in your brokerage account, then maybe you don't need as much in your high yield savings account that counts as an emergency fund. Or if you also have multiple sinking funds, maybe you are cool with 2K in your emergency fund because you have, another 3K in your car maintenance sinking fund, and another 2K in travel sinking fund, etc. So it just depends on your situation. But I would say overall, from all the clients I've worked with, I feel like 3K is kind of a good point to get to. Okay, selling unused items. This to me is still underrated. It has slowed down over the last few years, but if you just go through your house, and now's a good time, or at least it is a good time now, but even going into the springtime and doing spring cleaning, that's awesome to go through your stuff and your clothes, your bags, your decor, anything, and post it for sale online. For myself, I like to put clothes on Poshmark. Any like books I put on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace. bigger things I would typically put on Facebook Marketplace. And you'd be surprised what people will buy. Like, we had a patio set, an outdoor patio set that literally it was like a wicker patio set. I had it on my balcony for 4 years at my apartment, and there was holes in the bottom, like the wicker, because of the sun. The armrest where you rest your arms, the wicker was lifted off, like popped off, and then the seat was a hole. All both of the seats had a big hole in it. And so we had the cushion. I made that clear in the listing. I posted the photos with the holes in it, and this guy came and bought it. I think I sold it for $50, but like it was just, I was gonna just throw it out, like you could probably fix it up, and that's exactly what he's going to do with it, which I am so glad. Like, the foundation of the chair was still there. I didn't want to buy more wicker and have to worry about like fixing it up. We got new furniture for the patio, and I sold it for some money, and I think I only got that for like 150, so that's not bad for the condition it was in. um so yeah, you'd be surprised what people will buy. And he came to pick that up from my house. I didn't have to drive anywhere. So be safe, of course. My fiance was here, and we do like, don't let people come inside your house if you're going to do that. Meet at a public place if you're alone, anything like that. But otherwise, you can just sell on like Poshmark, Mercari. Let me put Mercari on here. A lot of people haven't heard of that one. That's also good for clothes or like random. You can even post like perfume on there. Used is fine. Just make sure you disclose that. So go through your stuff and sell it. You'd be surprised. And it might take some time for things to sell, but eventually, usually it does. And then if they don't, I'll like end up donating them after a few months. Same with flipping free or low cost items. I used to go for a walk every day in the city I used to live in, and um, there would be free stuff on the curb. And this was like when I was deep in debt and like kind of struggling a bit financially. So now I probably wouldn't take things because I'd like, some people really need them, or some people like myself at the time who would see them, and I would sell them because I'm like, I could really use that some money right now. So I would go and pick up the things. They would be like pots and pans, or like tables that were a little bit beat up, and I could just clean them up and post it for sale. And I did that several times. One time somebody put out a gaming chair. I actually made a video on that. Somebody put out a gaming chair, which was like really expensive. It was a little bit beat up. I just cleaned it up, and then I think I sold it for like $75, which I literally rolled it across the street up into my apartment. Um, I did not care. I was crossing in front of cars with this chair to my apartment. So yeah, it was worth it to me. And same with like, if you go to the thrift store and find things to flip, sometimes people get like mad that people do this, but like, if you're in a place where you you need money, and that's why it doesn't bother me if people do this. Like, if you need money and you are finding something that has more value than Goodwill is selling it for, or somebody at a garage sale is selling it for, it is okay for you to sell it, in my opinion. Like, as long, I wouldn't continue doing this. I know some people have like a full business out of it, but unless something comes to me for free from, like, it's given to me or something, and I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but yeah, if you want to do this because you need some money, that is completely fine, in my opinion. So yeah, that's one way. Thrift stores, garage sales, or just finding things on the side of the road. And also, there's sometimes people post free stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I wouldn't like. I think there's a rule. I'm in like a buy nothing group for my county, a couple of counties, and the rule is that you're not allowed to take things for free and sell them. So that's understandable. But if somebody's posting something for sale in Facebook Marketplace, well, not for sale, but for free, then you can flip that if you want to. Other random things: donate plasma, focus groups, pet sitting, babysitting. What else should I add here? Donate plasma, I know, is a little bit like, I think it's upsetting that people have to do this in order to support themselves financially, but it can be really lucrative. I know myself, I can't donate plasma, so you do have to, like, if you have certain autoimmune diseases, or just blood things, like, you may not be able to. They'll test you though and let you know. But you can make some good money, especially when you first start. From my understanding, I've never donated plasma, but I've had a couple of clients who do this. One of my clients did it really consistently, like as often as possible, and he made several hundred in the month. So that's pretty crazy. So as long as you're comfortable with doing it and are able to, medically able to, then you should be good. Focus groups, Respondent, let me make a note of that. I talked about this recently. Respondent has been really good. Curion is one in Atlanta, at least. I think they're in Atlanta and Chicago. What's the other one? I was thinking of my. Why can't I think of it? Starts with an N. Starts with an N. If I think of it, I'll come back to it. But there's another one that also does in-person focus groups or online. User interviews is also one. Did I spell that right? Yeah. So Respondent has been pretty good for me. I haven't been applying as much as I wanted to, but I got one a few weeks ago, and they paid me 200 after the fees. It was like $209, which is insane. I literally was just smelling body lotion and candles. It was fun, actually. It was enjoyable. They paid me quite a bit. So that was in person, but they sometimes have just like online things or even like chats. It's like an AI robot chatting with you. I did that one a couple of weeks ago as well. Pet sitting, babysitting. Please only pet sit if you like animals. I see some people like trying out pet sitting that are just doing it for money, and I think that's really dangerous. Like, that's people's babies, you know, and it's I think it can be really dangerous if you aren't comfortable with animals and don't love them. Um, all right. Let me know if there's anything like good I should add to that. Repairing bikes, donating plasma, and using his skills to get some extra money. Yeah, use your skills. So this could be either freelance or this could even be like services otherwise. So freelance wise, this could be like writing, design. Yeah, y'all get the idea. Building websites, whatever it is, Salesforce, if you do that. Services would be like lawn care, gardening, um, painting, houses, whatever. Can't type. Yeah, that's a good tip, Sophia. Thank you. Yeah, I wish I could donate plasma too. I don't think I would enjoy it, but it would be nice to make some extra cash. I'd be fine with it. I love sitting down with my planner each time I get paid and then pay my bills. I don't have auto pay. I'm old school, I guess. I like that too. I did set up auto pay this year for savings, but I'm the same way. I really like to. I don't automate any of my bill pay. I like to do it manually. I think it's enjoyable. So I'm just as weird as you. Trust me. Yeah, you have MS. Yep. I know. When you have autoimmune disease, you get disqualified. Oh yeah, you can donate your eggs, but I know you do have to go. I think that's like 8 to 12K. Well, probably 8K plus. But I've heard some people say, I forgot, not some people, just like I've heard through stories that it can be like not the best experience. Like people, it depends on where you go to, you know, and like they're not as friendly in some places, and the process isn't as smooth for some people. But I don't know how true that is. Yeah, but you can make. I worked. My second job ever was a server at IHOP, and a girl I worked with there, she donated her eggs and she made $10,000. And I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Very cool. What are you going to do with it? I think she was just going on vacation. Like, okay. But yeah, I think you just have to do like a bunch of injections, which you have to be open to that as well. Many of the nonprofit orgs need people for their research to get more grant money from their rich donors. Interesting. Um, there are, I forgot what the guy's name is who talked about this, but he's like a medical volunteer, and so he has medical residents that work on him, I guess, or something at the hospital. He's like a not. I don't think they poke him necessarily, but I think they like pretend he's a patient. I forget what it's called. Yeah, thank you, Sophia, for being here. Amazon is one. Yeah, isn't it Amazon Flex? I've heard bad things though. I think I've heard all bad things about Amazon, unfortunately. Yeah, house sitting, we can pop that on there. Okay, cool. If you think anything else, let me know. All right, and then last thing, track your progress. I think this is really important so that you can stay motivated. At least for me, it was always really important. It did keep me inspired and like on track. I wanted to color in my sheets all the time. So I like to now. I really like to use my template. That's like the um, it's a Google sheet and it's the graph, the parts pie chart. Y'all, I cannot talk. I'm so sorry. It's the pie chart, and I'm just tracking monthly how much progress I've made on the goal that I'm working toward. You can use various apps. I don't really know of any. There's probably like habit tracker type of things, and then you can also use just physical trackers. You can make them yourself. I meant to grab that. I don't know where I have mine, but I have several notebooks that I filled out with like bullet journals that I would draw just the tracker so I could color it in each time I paid down like $100 of debt or whatever amount. And you can customize that as you want to. So if you just Google debt free tracker bullet journal, for example, and you can get inspo. If you're on Pinterest, that's a great place to get inspo. But this is what I had done. Like, I didn't do this, but it was more like this. Can y'all see that? Kind of, I'm in the way. Like that. That's kind of how I did it. But there's just all these different ideas that you can just make yourself, or even things like, oh, I had done exactly like, is this mine? No, this looks like me and my handwriting. That's crazy, but I never had Great Lakes. That's see, I must have copied this exactly, but this even looks like my handwriting. That's so odd. Yeah, so you can get some inspo, and I think this is Asia Dang. Is it Asia Dang? I remember watching her. If y'all are familiar with Asia Dang, she would do that a lot, and I got inspired by that. Another good website is debtfreecharts.com, I think it's called. Yeah, debtfreecharts.com. And there's some that you can buy, but you don't need to. You can go to charts, free charts, and there's a ton here. So if you want to print things off, and you kind of got a little Candyland type of thing, there's tons here. 4 pages of free things, and then obviously some paid ones. But why not just get the free ones? So it's pretty cool what is out there. And then if you wanted to, if you don't have like a good printer, you could just literally do these yourself. They don't need to be perfect because trust me, mine never were. But I think it's important to keep track of your progress just to kind of give you that visual, especially if you are a visual learner, a visual person, I had a thermometer in my living room the whole time I was paying off debt. I would color it in every time I'd paid down 1,000. That was really motivating for me. Plus, I saw it all the time. So, any questions on extra income or tracking progress? Yes. Affiliate links, partnership. So if you have an online presence whatsoever, so I'll put that on here. And even if you don't, like, y'all would be surprised how many affiliate things you can sign up for without having like a huge following, or even at least like referrals. Like if there's a company that you really like and love, and it can be harder without a following, but if you have a friend group or with family friends, you can share your referral links and get like either discounts for the product that you use, and hopefully you don't spend more money because of that, but usually it should save you money, or you get affiliate kickback, which is always really fun. And if you don't know, affiliate links are, the company gives you a link specific to you, If somebody uses that link and makes a purchase, you get a small portion, like a little commission, at no extra cost to the person using it. So I have tons of affiliate links, like in my description box. That's what I have. But yeah, if you're making content online, you have a decent following. Even if you don't even need a decent following, like couple thousand, I would say you can start for sure. 1,000 plus on any platform, you can start and then grow from there. And then obviously, that can keep on going forever. Like you can I'll just put social media. You can get monetized on social media, just like ads, or yeah, as you said, partnerships. That kind of comes. It's a little bit more challenging, but launder other closer. Yeah, refer a friend for banks. It just can be hard sometimes to convince people in your life to open things. Yeah, apps, Rakuten. Well, actually, let me start with Upside, which I should have put that on here. My code is dead over. I don't plug that. Ibotta. Fetch. This will make you nothing crazy, but it's something. And then like Rakuten for cash back. There's other ones too, like Frugal. I can't remember what it's called. Frugal something, but there's other versions of Rakuten that are out there. Yeah, affiliate links are not the same as MLMs. I don't recommend. I've worked with several people who are in MLMs, and it breaks my heart. Like, okay, well, be careful with those. So that's always my message. I don't ever want to like discourage anybody, but I don't recommend MLMs. So if you, it's like, what's the big one? I can't even think of them. Avon, but Avon's not horrible. Like at least Avon has some pretty good products. Let me see something. Arbonne, that's one. Amway, that's what I was thinking of. Herbalife, Mary Kay, doTERRA, Avon. Yeah. If you ever get reached out to by anybody and they like, oh, come on this call, it's best for single moms, you want to make so much money, you'll be making this much all the time and you get free products. Come on the call and we will talk about it. And then it's like a whole bunch of people being spoken to by one person, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna have this vacation and that. Like it's probably too good to be true. Any of the like slimming teas that you can sell, and then you usually have to buy a certain amount on a monthly basis in order to stay in the program, and whoever referred you is benefiting from that. Yeah, so just be careful with that. You can try it if you want to, but it's I think, I don't know the stats, but it's like a crazy amount of people do not succeed. Like they lose money by participating in MLMs, unfortunately. My sister sold Avon when she was in high school, early college, maybe. I loved it though because I loved the magazines, and I would spend money then, like with the, $25 a week that I was making, and I would buy the Avon makeup. I still like Avon though. I don't use it anymore, but y'all know Skin So Soft from Avon. We used to use that like on our dogs to keep the fleas away and stuff, the bugs away. Like Avon had some good stuff, but you don't make money by selling Avon, that's for sure. Correct. Many people don't, but it's the way that an MLM is set up is to benefit the person at the top. And so you're going to be better off doing your own thing and not selling something that you're required to put money into, is what I'm saying. You can absolutely do an MLM if you want to, but it's just not my recommendation. All right, y'all. So real quick, just like the other weeks, I'm going to plug my community. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Just drop them in the chat. I will get to them. But right now, if you join and you pay for the year, and now through January 11th, you will get if you join now and pay $170, then you will get a 30-minute call with me. And that's a one-on-one call. You can book that at any point over the next year. But in this community, I do go live 3 times a month. One time for office hours / support. You can hop on, ask any questions if you have them. Second time is for a finance class. So just last week, I went live in the community talking about creating an annual budget and setting financial goals. And then the final week of each month, typically, I go live for the little budget party. And this is where somebody sits in the budget hot seat. We did this last night, and I will go through the budget with the person and coach them if they're open to that. And then, just talk through other things, answer questions, anything like that. So yeah, through January 11th, if you book between now and January 11th, or just join the community for the 170, then you get that one-on-one call with me. But you can just go check it out, see what there is. You can see on there that people post their wins, people share, they have questions about things, and a lot of people, obviously I will answer, and that's one thing, but other people have different experiences and can also answer. There's a lot of support in there, people with like-minded situations, just like-minded, not like-minded situations, they are like-minded and then in similar situations to each other. And so it's been really cool. I started it a few months ago, and I want to continue to have it grow. So I'm excited that it's still going strong. And then, you get some sheets in there too. Like, you get access to several, my Google Docs, my Google Sheets. Otherwise, I do still offer one-on-one sessions, of course, and currently I have $100 off my financial reset package, so that is $247. Financial reset is 2 1.5-hour calls, about like 3 weeks apart or so, 3 to 4 weeks apart. It just depends on what you prefer. So total of 3 hours of one-on-one time. And then anytime I work with people, I write up like a summary, and you get my you get my Google Sheets, and email access, all the things. So I also have, this is just the discount now, but I have 12 weeks of coaching. That's kind of what most people end up going into, because lots of people need accountability. So with either of these, accountability is a big thing. So in this one, it's obviously as a group, and you can hopefully stay motivated by everybody posting in there, and you can post as well. But then with my one-on-one, I check in on your spreadsheets every Monday morning. I check into my client spreadsheets and make sure that they've tracked their spending. And so if you don't, I reach out and say, hey, don't forget to track your spending. Okay. Any questions? Oh, wow. Yeah. They were making good money. They spent more than they made most months. Yeah. Any questions? About this or anything from before, either? Like emergency fund or consolidation? And basically, kind of what I'm getting at too with all of this is, now at this point, you should be able to make your true budget for January. So if you're not sure about, and by the way, my links are in my description box. I didn't say that. I should have said that. Oh, wow. Thank you, Amita. $5. Just discovered your channel and love your content. For the one-on-one sessions, would you help brainstorm on investment strategies, financial goals, etc.? Yes, absolutely. So I'm not a financial advisor, so legally I'm not going to like control your investments or anything like that, but with most of my clients, I do talk about investing, and I kind of get down to, so sometimes people like will invest in a brokerage versus a Roth IRA, and I'm like, why are you doing that? And let's talk about, if you want to retire early, then sure, maybe we can switch over to a brokerage and things like that. So yeah, absolutely, that's what I talk about with most of my clients. But yeah, and thank you so much. I appreciate that support. That's awesome. But with your budget for January, based off of like your debt payments, based off of your payment plan, and anything that you reduced hopefully from last week coming into this week, and maybe you called your credit card companies and got your interest lowered, now you can kind of move things around within your budget and make more of a true one for January. And we're just 2 days away from January. So now the big thing, I'm going to go live again next week. I don't really know what I'll talk about. I can just answer questions. I also have like I said, this is from my debt free blueprint course, and I have a section of like FAQs, and I can answer those, I suppose, kind of just go through those and see if people have any questions. But going forward, the important part is now tracking your spending, and that is what's going to make the biggest difference. And then you'll have a better picture. It's okay if your budget wasn't perfect. It's okay if you go over budget in things. Try once you already, if it's halfway through the month and you go over budget, that's fine, but just kind of keep an eye on things. And then going into February, you're like, okay, I probably need to be more realistic and increase what I budgeted for food out or whatever category it may be. And then, yeah, just start to see if you're tracking your spending. Some spending will pop up that you maybe weren't even aware of. And as long as you're seeing all the numbers, then you can adjust accordingly. So, yeah, if you have any questions on your budget, let me know. But at this point, you should be able to clean it up pretty well and get it finalized before the new year, new 2026. I know it did come so fast. And I feel like it was just January, which is crazy because I remember things like specific things that happened in January 2025. So, okay. I appreciate y'all for being here, and I hope you all had a good holiday, no matter what you celebrate, and Happy New Year. Pop any questions in the comments, and I can answer them next week, but I will go live next week. I think, let me check my calendar. I think I put 7. I know this week was a little bit earlier. It's just I have a call. I have 2 calls tonight, so I wasn't able to come on later. Yeah, I can do 7 next week. Is that too late? Maybe I'll do 6. I'll probably do 6 next week. Eastern time. Oh, thank you, Denise. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. I remember saying 2025 has been such a long year in January. Yeah, I don't know that January always feels longer, and then after that it just speeds up. But then when I think back to certain things in the year, I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of a long time ago. Okay. Any final questions? Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Everything's linked in my description box. Let me know if any questions. Otherwise, I will still be responding to comments once because this will be recorded and on my channel. But okay, I guess that's it, and I will see y'all next week, 6 o'clock. Let me know if any questions, because I don't really have any more to like teach on, so I'll just answer some random FAQs that I've received throughout my journey. But yeah, thank you. Thanks, Mara. Happy New Year, y'all. Stay safe. Good night.